Welcome back to Petes Dugout. This is episode 20 of my career mode with Coventry City, and it's season 2. So excited to get started in the Premier League. It's the first time since 2001 that the Sky Blues will be playing in the top division, and if you need to catch up on the saves so far, there's a playlist with all 20 episodes available on my channel. What I thought I would do before we start season 2 is just do a quick recap, starting with the other competitions around Europe, with the Carabao Cup, which was won by the Hammers. David Moyes can't stop winning trophies after their Europa Conference League triumph. Also noteworthy that Wolves got to the semi-final of that cup as well. Decent season for them in terms of domestic cup runs. So semi-final of the Carabao Cup and the final, of course, of the FA Cup against ourselves. The Champions League was won by Tottenham in a rematch of the 2019 final. Spurs getting revenge on the Reds and Harry Kane getting his and Tottenham's first piece of silverware in a major way. The Europa League was won by Lazio, beating Monaco 2-1. The Conference League was won by Villarreal. And I forgot to show it, but the Premier League was won by Liverpool. So, as we look at the player stats for the year, confirmation that Gyökeres won the Golden Boot by a landslide with 47 goals in 42 games, which is remarkable really, but also slightly annoying to miss out on 50 goals by just 3. No other Coventry player in the top 15, so it just goes to show how important his goals were to us this year. And he also chipped in with 15 assists as well, tied for first place with our fan favourite Kim Dae-won, and that's great to see. Tavsan and Hamer also make the top 15 for assists, and Ronin finishes 10th in the clean sheets with 9. So it's time to say goodbye to Season 1, and what a campaign that was. Winning the league, unearthing 2 great youth players, Thomas and Walton, and of course winning the FA Cup, just the second major honour in Coventry's history, and hopefully many more to come. But it's time to welcome Season 2 and say hello to the Premier League with 17 new teams to play and a whopping 59 million budget to play with. To be honest, we will need it. Less games in the Premier League, of course, with 38, but we have the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and European football to focus on as well. So we need to improve the squad, and we need depth as well. So with that in mind, I immediately got to work on the free agent market and picked up Tony Wright, a 4-star new-gen Welsh centre mid. He's only 68 rated and no potential tag, but at 19 he can come in for squad depth. Next up is another new-gen, Hyun Ki-shin, again 19, high work rates and 68 rated. He's actually listed as a CDM, but I'm going to convert him to centre-back because he has more favourable stats there and he will slot in for depth as well. But then I found someone on the market who will definitely be involved in the matchday squad, and that's Mads Bidstrup, 22-year-old Danish centre mid who has previously played his football with Leipzig and Brentford before moving to the Danish league, and now he will play in the Premier League for the Sky Blues, and that's going to be a great sub for Sheaf and Hamer. My next transfer was a difficult decision to make and one that wasn't made lightly, but I knew that I needed to make an upgrade in the goalkeeping department if I wanted to stay up in the Premier League. Ronin has been brilliant in the Championship, but he's not going to get much better in terms of quality. And in a shocking turn of events, Fulham were relegated down to the Championship, so it's time to go poaching. Bernd Leno is only 31, which is still young in goalkeeping years, 80 rated and available at just over 10 mil, which is a bargain for a player of his experience, and he goes straight into the starting 11. The transfers keep on coming though, and I couldn't believe my luck with this one. I mentioned all the way back in episode 1 that I wanted to loan in Reiss Nelson from Arsenal, and they weren't interested, but they didn't renew his contract, which is madness from the Gunners for such a talented youngster. But even so, in the spirit of realism, I decided to give it another week or so in case another top half team went in for him, but they didn't, so that's their loss and my gain. The 23-year-old Englishman becomes the Sky Blues' new number 9, and I'm buzzing with that one. So as Shin's position change to centre-back is confirmed, we get a hefty bid from Celtic for frontman Gyökeres, but it's crazy how things change in a year. This is now an easy no. Big Vic is playing Premier League football and we're in Europe as well, so he's committed to at least one more year to see what we can do at the top level. So after we reject the bids, we were back in the market, and this time I was looking for some competition for Kim down the left. Palmer is another player who's done really well, but he's not going to get any better, and to stay in the Premier League I need more quality. Bournemouth are another side who were relegated last season, and a player I've had on my shortlist since Season 1 is Jayden Anthony, another 23-year-old Englishman. We managed to get a nice swap deal here involving Palmer and 3 million. I had to include a sell-on clause, which is totally fine, and that's given us improved depth on the left wing. So the final signing of the episode came in the shape of a left-back from another relegated team, which is Omar Richards from Nottingham Forest. The ex-Reading and Bayern Munich fullback was injured for a large chunk of last season, but I love his potential, and he will come in to compete with the Asian Bidwell for a starting job, and that's just over 4 million as well. So that'll do it. 7 new signings and a new look squad as we welcome in the new season. Much improved depth, and it will definitely be needed, as I mentioned, for the 4 competitions that we'll be competing in this season. So it's time for the first game of the year, and it's the Community Shield against last season's Premier League winners Liverpool. A hefty challenge against one of the powerhouses of the league. But new men Leno and Nelson make the starting lineup for their debuts, with Bidstrup, Anthony and Richards all looking to make an impact from the bench. And I found out what happened to Ruben Neves. He didn't go to Saudi. He's the new captain of Liverpool. Thomas Muller leads the line for the Reds with Salah and Diaz out wide, which is a deadly attack to deal with. So I am keeping the same formation for the start of the year, and just to confirm, we are still on ultimate difficulty. All sliders are default with the exception of the injury sliders, which are of course increased for realism. So that's housekeeping out of the way, and we kick things off in the air quotes friendly at Wembley against Klopp's Liverpool, and we made a fast start. The ball is played over the top to Thomas. He does so well to win the header from the taller Gomez, and Gyökeres fires just wide of the mark, with Matip scrambling to make the tackle. Just a few moments later, a new man Nelson loses possession in the middle of the park. After a scrappy few passes, we give the ball away again, and Muller finds Salah, who takes a touch to steady himself, and he fires from just inside the box, top bins, and it's 1-0 Liverpool. Not sure if that was nerves, but it's all our own doing from giving the ball away twice. No less than a minute later, and Nelson gives the ball away again. He was really struggling to settle on his debut, and the Liverpool tails were up with quick passing and movement. Salah finds Trent down the right, and after another quick 1-2, he spots Fabinho in the box. The midfielder shooting first time and hitting the back of the net. 2-0 Liverpool, and things were not looking good at all. We did settle down finally after the second goal, and as Sheaf wins possession in the Liverpool half, Nelson is involved in the attack for the first time. He crosses first time to the on-rushing Thomas, and somehow he misses the target with the header from a few yards out. He simply has to score there, but it's still 2-0. Liverpool still looked lively with slick passing, and we really looked like a team who needed more time to gel. Muller plays in Salah again, but this time Panzo comes in with a perfectly timed slide tackle to keep the score at 2-0. We were starting to find some joy in the game now, and Liverpool looked a little leggy after the first 20 minutes. Hamer paces forward and plays in Gyökeres. He outmuscles Matip to go through on goal, and Alisson makes a brilliant save, tipping the shot away from danger. Just before the break now, when Liverpool were on the attack down the left, Diaz gets the better of Blackburn and Panzo has to come over to support. The Colombian breezes past both players, plays in Muller, but Leno makes an outrageous reaction save with his right hand. The resulting corner is played in, and the German shows why he deserves to be in the Premier League. First tipping away the header from Gomez, and then dealing with the second corner, another header from Gomez which he tips over the bar. So the first half somehow only finishes 2-0 after a barrage of attempts from both sides. I did make one change at the break with Richards making his debut coming on for Bidwell, and we looked to attack immediately from the whistle in the second half. Kim spots the run of Gyökeres and plays him in behind the high line. The Swede takes a touch with his head and slots it home to make it 2-1 in the first minute of the action. Gyökeres' goal scoring campaign is off the mark, and it's the perfect response. Moments later we deal with the crafty Salah in the box. The ball deflects out to Thomas and his eyes light up. He takes a perfect first touch and looks up to find Gyökeres trying to get behind that Liverpool high line once again. He times the ball well, Gyökeres is through on goal, and it's the cheeky one. He lifts the ball over the Brazilian, and it's 2-2. Under 10 minutes played in the half, and Liverpool are shocked. Klopp must be furious. But I decided to make 2 changes after the second goal, with Bidstrup and Anthony making their debuts, replacing Sheaf and Kim. And Liverpool win a throw-in a dangerous position just past the hour mark. Diaz plays in Muller. The ball finds its way to Keita, and his weak effort finds the back of the net. Leno will be angry with the defending for sure, and after all that hard work to get back in the game, Liverpool take the lead again, and that's how it would stay as well. So Liverpool are your Community Shield winners, and Ruben Neves lifts the trophy. A positive showing from the Sky Blues though, to get ourselves back into the game from 2-0 down against the champions, and a very impressive game from Leno as well. Money well spent for sure, as he makes 10 saves on the day. But as we head back to the office, we confirm 2 departures. Tavares and Hogan leave for 1.25 mil and 1 mil respectively. Small fees of course, but they just weren't going to get any game time at all, so it was best for them to move on. So there we have it, a new season underway in the Premier League, a positive performance against champions Liverpool, and 7 new signings to integrate into the squad. Very exciting stuff indeed. But that's going to do it for another episode of FIFA 23 Career Mode on Petes Dugout. I'm still working on that outro, but I'll be back with another episode featuring 2 more new signings very, very soon.